Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a long one. I think it's going to be over an hour. We'll see. So definitely grab a snack, grab a drink. We're going to be here for a while. I have some yummy coffee today to get me through this. It is a beautiful, rainy, snowy day outside, even though it's supposed to be spring. We're still dealing with this weather, and even though that's unfortunate, I wish it was more spring-like outside. It's still really cozy to do something like this inside today. So, personally, and I feel like this is a collective energy as well, have been feeling that spring cleaning energy, purging, getting rid of the old, bringing in the new, cleansing. I think the solar eclipse that we just had yesterday was really indicative of that energy as well. And so, I don't know, I just have this energy to clear things out, to start new, to have a fresh, clean slate with a lot of things. So today I have a very daunting task. I'm going to be moving a lot of my decks into storage. So the reason this isn't a like a getting rid of decks or decluttering decks is because I've only done one big declutter where I sold quite a few decks, and I actually regret doing that with some of the decks. I want to repurchase them. And so I don't want that to happen again. I have invested my money into these, and I would hate to have to invest my money again on some of these if I decide that I don't want to get rid of them in the long run. So, yesterday I cleaned out this beautiful piece of furniture that I've had ever since I moved out at 18. This was given to me. It's been in our family for years and years and years. And it was built by my great grandfather and painted by my grandmother. So it's very special to me. It also has Southwestern vibes, which has been a big part of my practice. And I've been noticing a bigger presence of that Southwestern energy lately in my practice. I live in New Mexico, and I feel like I'm really accepting and diving headfirst into that, and really, I don't know the right way to say it, but I'm really accepting that energy, loving it, letting it kind of consume me in my practice, because that is what feels like home to me. And I am really attracted to that energy more so now than maybe I was in the past. So it has that Southwestern vibe. So the reason that I cleaned this out and kind of put it in a different space, I actually had it, this is my library right here, all these shelves, and it was kind of over here in the corner on the other side behind my chair here, and I decided to move it over here because I wanted an altar that I could kneel at and have a more devotional practice. I've kind of always treated my desk as an altar, but I wanted something I could kneel at and have that very devotional practice, that very structured practice. And so that's why I moved this over here to have an altar. Now, this is a storage bench. It's meant to be a bench to sit on. And I cleaned this out. It was full of so many things that I hadn't even looked at in probably 9 years or so. Mostly just trash that I got rid of. And I repainted the inside. It's this beige color, and it just so happened that the color that we painted our walls and some of the house was the same exact color as what was inside here. So I touched up the paint inside, gave it a fresh coat to really just make it feel fresh. And I'm going to cleanse it as well before I start putting decks in here, because my idea is to put the decks that I am no longer using or don't know if I'm going to ever really have a connection with, and put them in here. It's kind of gonna be like a purgatory situation where if I feel like I need to bring them back out, it's very easy. They're right here, they're accessible. But I really like that kind of out of sight, out of mind thing, because it proves to me that these decks just aren't that important in my practice, and then I might be able to let them go a little bit easier down the road. I find that if I'm really like wanting to use a deck, I will think of it, even if it's put away. And so that's kind of the idea here. So I don't know how much I can fit in here. I feel like I'm being a little ambitious looking at this monstrous piles I have going on over here. But we're going to try our best. And so then here on top is going to be where my altar is. And I'm very, very, very excited about it. So for the decks that do not go into this bench, I have a shelf up there that is specifically for my decks, and I might be doing some rearranging here so that they're a little more accessible for me because they are on the third shelf up, and I have to get a chair or a ladder to reach them, and I want them to be a little bit more accessible, so I might swap this shelf with the one above. I'm not sure. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm doing some rearranging and things. Again, with my decks, I just am drawn to certain decks, and I definitely want to bring in some other decks that I feel like are more me, and a lot of these just don't represent me or my practice. And so it's sad that they're taking up space that decks that really align with me could hold, right? And so that's kind of the idea here. I was going to buy some totes and store these decks in my very limited closet spaces that I have in the house, but those need to be reserved for other household things, and so I just thought this was a perfect place to put decks because it's in my room and it's contained. So I think the kind of ultimate goal is to keep decks that I love in here so I can easily grab them. And so hopefully this will kind of help me in that process. Right now, the decks that I absolutely love, that I use all of the time, that would never even go up on that shelf or go into storage, are under my desk. I have a little shelf that is attached to my desk that is kind of like hidden away, and all of my favorite decks go there. So these are not going to be my end all be all favorites, because those are always within reaching distance to me. So these are all going to be decks that either I only bring out once in a while, or I haven't gotten the chance to use, or that I just don't use at all. Okay, that was a very long-winded introduction. We just need to get started because I have so many friggin' decks here. I think I'm going to do like a definitely put away pile, a definitely not put away pile, and a maybe, so that the maybe decks can stay out if I run out of room. So that's kind of how we're going to do it. All right, I want to start off with this pile that was already in my purgatory. So I have this little bin here that I was keeping decks in that I literally never use. And so we're going to start with those. This is Dragon Wisdom. This can definitely go away. I feel like I would use this for like sacred anger work. And, you know, let me look at this. I'm really not going to do this for most of the decks, but ones I'm kind of unsure about. You know, dragons kind of have that energy of strength, of power, of burning away the old and bringing in the new, burning away the past. But I don't know, I just don't connect with this deck. It has very, like, just basic keywords. So this is one I might bring out eventually, but right now it can go away because I never think about it. I never am drawn to use it. Something about animal decks is just, and me just don't vibe. I don't know. This is the Spirit of the Animals Oracle. I think this is such gorgeous artwork. And for somebody that is an animal lover, if I were going to do a reading for them, I would bring this out as kind of a focal point because the messages on here are really beautiful. And when I do have a spirit guide that I feel like is coming forth for me, I do bring this out. You know, this might go in the maybe for now, just because I feel like there are some cards that I would want to bring out as a focal point. That's how I like to use this deck. I don't really use it for divining. I like to extract a card from it and use the energy of that card. So this might go in maybe for right now. This is the El Key Oracle. This can go in the storage Oracle of Mystical Moments. I've never connected to this. I do want to try the tarot eventually, but this, I just have never connected to this deck, so that's going to go away. Earthcraft. This was put away for a long time, and I was looking at it yesterday, and I was like, this is a beautiful deck to use during this spring and summertime, so this is going to go in the maybe. This is the Archaeo archetype cards. I think these are so aesthetically pleasing, but they do not read well for me. I don't know. I think it's something to do with the guidebook in this. It's very kind of pretentious in the way that it's worded. And so again, this might be one I use as like a placeholder if I were to incorporate it into my practice, but for now it's going to go away. I'm going to try to be brutal here because I'll do this where I'll keep decks out that I don't really use and then they just stay unused. This is the Raven's Wand Oracle. It's one I would love to connect to at some point, but right now I don't feel drawn to it. Angel Answers Oracle. This can go away. I'm not really a big Angel deck fan, so that can go away. These are the Astrological Oracle cards. Again, these are really good for placeholders. There's only a few cards in here that have the zodiacal and planetary associations, but I have other astrological decks that have this and more, so this can go away. Nature's Whispers Oracle cards. I've used these a few times and they've read well for me, but I just don't feel super drawn, and some of these messages are a little bit like fluffy and stuff that yeah. The artwork is gorgeous, and that's mostly why I kept it, because I had 2 other decks by this creator. This is by Angela Hartfield and Josephine Wall, and I love the artwork, so that's mostly why I kept this, just to have it, because it's like having a little art museum in a box, but it can go away. Spellcasting Oracle cards. Sorry, I might just look at some of these a little bit to decide. This is just a really basic Oracle deck. But I really love Flavia Kate Peters and Barbara Michael John Free, their decks. So this might be a maybe, because I want to try it. I do want to try working with this a little bit more. Messenger Oracle. This one's going to go away. It has such gorgeous artwork, but I've never been able to use it as a deck. It just doesn't vibe with me. So that can go away. The Spirit Animal Oracle, this can go away. I feel like this deck just doesn't align, and the messages are very like generic in my opinion. This is Gateway Oracle cards. I actually cut these down into little squares, so they're basically just like little happy affirmation cards, and they're cute, but I have other Denise Linn decks that I like more, so this one can go away. These are the Wicca Oracle cards. I was looking at these last night too, and I feel like these might be a maybe. Again, I feel like these would be good altar cards, good place cards. I had a really strong connection with this deck in the past, and other things have just kind of taken over my collection, so I stopped using things like this. But it's very generic, but it's very simple. The artwork is beautiful, and it has no keywords, and it's basically it has very Wiccan symbolism in it. So I'm gonna put this in the maybe pile. Goddess Temple Oracle cards. I don't know about this one. It doesn't have keywords on it, and the guidebook's very sparse, and you can use this intuitively, but I just have other decks that I connect with more. Okay, Wisdom of the Hidden Realms. I think this is one that I want to try and use again, because I have another Colette Baron Reid deck that's older. This is an older deck of hers that works so well for me. It's kind of been on the back burner because of other decks, but I want to use this, and I feel like a lot of the energies are very archetypal, and that's something I really want to incorporate into my practice more, is taking a focus card, an archetypal kind of thing to embody as like kind of the framework for a reading. So this one is going to go in the keep pile, because I think I want to put it on my altar, let it charge there, and have it be, I don't know, more tuned to me, so I can try to get it to work for me. This is the Tarot of the Divine. I think this is such a gorgeous deck, but it is based on folk legends and different stories of different cultures. And so I feel like personally I would need to really do a deck study with this, because there's a separate book that has all of the stories that the cards are based on. So this is going to go away. This was one of my first decks, and when I got it, I thought the artwork was so beautiful. It is something that you can use, like, and I have used it without knowing the stories, and it works pretty well as a regular RWS, but I feel like it has that extra layer that I'm doing a disservice to the deck by not knowing those, right? Okay, so that's everything. Pretty much all of those are going into storage besides a few that are maybes. And I only have one out of that pile that was a yes. So those are the ones that were in purgatory, and they were obviously there for a reason. These are the Dream Decoder cards, and I actually use these very, I don't know, practically. I like to actually use this deck to research dreams I've had, or other people will come to me and ask me to decode their dreams. And I love this deck. I think it's beautiful for that. It literally just has pictures of, I think they re-released this deck and it looks different now. It is mass market, but basically it just has a picture of the dream and then a kind of analysis of it on the back. So that's going to be a yes. I love to keep that out. Tea leaf fortune cards. I think these are such a good idea, but I am not a big fan of super predictive readings. And when I do want that, I have other decks that do that. But I think this is such a cool deck, and I love the artwork on it. But for now, this is going to go in storage. True Heart Intuitive Tarot. I love this deck and the artwork. It's so kind of modern but weird, and it feels occult. I love it. I don't love the cardstock on it, but this is going to be a yes. It's going to stay out. The Fairies Oracle. I have used this maybe like once since I got it. I wasn't feeling the energy of it when I first got it, but I want to. And I think I might have gotten it in a season that didn't feel aligned with this deck. So I feel like in spring, this will really be a fun deck to work with. So that's going to stay out. Fantastic Menagerie. This is a deck I bought for collector's purposes. I also love the artwork, but I mostly use it just to look at. It does read well for me, but I don't know. I just don't think to bring it out a lot. It's hard to read for others with this because of the gloss on it. And again, this is an animal deck, and me and animal decks just have a weird relationship. So I do like to kind of display this on my shelf. So this is going to be a maybe. Where am I at? Zombie Tarot can stay out. I do like this deck. And I use it kind of around Halloween and stuff. But I feel like I don't know. I like to do work with this deck around the modern world, because this is set in the 50s. So, yeah. And I also have been really into The Walking Dead again, so I'm going to keep this out. This is the Rainbow Heart Tarot. I love this deck. I wish it was in a better cardstock. If this was in like a regular size tarot deck with nice linen cardstock, I would use this deck way more. This is gonna stay out for me. This is the Sea Witch Tarot. This is actually my only tarot deck that is related to like water, and it's a pip deck, which I actually really like pip decks. So this is going to stay out, especially because we're getting into the hotter half of the year. And I have some water decks that I want to bring into my collection because I feel like it's lacking elementally. I only have maybe like 3 decks that are water-based in their imagery. I do have decks that feel like water on the emotional side of that, but I don't have a lot that depict water scenes, so that is why I'm going to keep this out and play with it some more. Again, I think I got this towards the end of summer, so I didn't get to really play with it a lot. And I also don't live by any bodies of water, and this summer we're supposed to be going to bodies of water, so I really want something that is watery in its theming. So that is the Sea Witch. Tarot is going to stay out. The Villains Tarot deck. This was a gift. This is not something I probably would have ever bought for myself, but I'm going to keep it even if it's just in storage. So this one's going to go in storage. This is the Inspirational Visions. This is such a beautiful deck, but I feel like it just gets lost in my collection because I have too much crap. So I feel like this is such a gorgeous deck for inner child work, which is something I need to do some more work on because I've had some wounds reopen in that department. So I think I'm going to keep this one over here and kind of like see what decks I could work with it, because I have some other inner child decks that I feel like would pair well with that. So that's going to stay over in this separate pile for a minute. Messages from the Light meditation deck. This is a gorgeous deck. I don't know where the guidebook is for it. Oh, yes, I do. It got ripped up. I mean, it's still readable, I think, but this is beautiful, but I just don't use it a lot. And I used it for like my year ahead spread last year for the oracle portion of that, and I just didn't work with the messages, so that can go in storage for now. I feel like I'm doing pretty good at not talking too much about each deck. Witch's Wisdom. I love, 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 love this deck. This one's also by Barbara Michael John Free and Flavia Kate Peters. It has this very like 90s aesthetic, early 2000s, very kind of cheesy in the artwork, but it works so well, and I really love bringing this out around Halloween. So that's a yes. Okay, this is the Art Through the Starstream Oracle. I love Cheryl Yambrack Rose, her artwork. This is an out of print deck, and I'm so happy to have it. I love the aesthetic of this deck, and the artwork is absolutely stunning. This is gonna stay out. I have 2 more of her decks, and I feel like I just need to figure out a way to use these. They do have interesting messages, and I've been really drawn to like alien type energy lately, and UFOs, and these decks have a weird space celestial UFO theming throughout them, along with this very earthy energy. It's very interesting, and I think I'm going to explore this through that vibe I've been feeling with the desert energy. It's like desert, alien, but also this has a very like Arthurian vibe as well. It's a very strange mashup of a deck, but that's what I've been wanting to work with lately. So this is a yes. This is the Believe Your Own Magic Oracle deck. I'm going to keep this out because I haven't played with it with the Cozy Witch. Cozy Witch is over in my favorite decks over there. But I also keep a lot of these cards, a lot of cards from this deck on my treadmill. Again, it was like cards I extracted specifically for doing work around my physical appearance. So I need to keep this out just so I can put those cards back at some point, and I don't want to go digging for it, so that's going to stay out. Halloween Oracle, this is a given. This is going to stay out. One of my favorite of all time. It's just it goes up there because I don't use it year round, and sometimes I'll bring it out throughout the year, but it mostly gets use around Halloween. This is the Gaia Oracle. This is by Tony Carmine Salerno. I've trimmed mine. It has a beautiful Sacred Heart on the back. That's like one of my favorite card backs of all time. But I have not used this deck very often. It's like I want to. The artwork is beautiful. And it's one of those decks that has multiple keywords on the bottom, or just like a saying. Like this one says emotional cleansing and rejuvenation. And I like to use decks like this to kind of craft a spread from for the tarot cards. So I'll use like each keyword as a spread position. So this is Amethyst, transformation, certainty, confidence. So I would use a tarot, put a tarot card in each keyword position. but I don't know what the energy of this deck is. Like, it feels, it doesn't feel as earthy as I would want a Gaia deck to feel. This is gonna go away for now. It's always one I feel drawn to use, but I just never, like, when I see it, I want to use it, and then I'm just like, no, it just doesn't, it's not a huge pull for me. Fairy Forest. These are like decks I want to keep out around this time of year because it's like fairy season. I've trimmed these ones again. I have the glossy. I think they've come out with this in matte. This is gonna stay just because I feel like, again, it has those multiple keywords on it, and I feel like I could use this for sure. Transcendent Journeys. This is the one that, this is also by Cheryl Yambrack Rose, and this one has a very weird alien vibe. Let me see if I can find a card. I don't know, like, so this is very Arthurian artwork. And then, like, this one just seems weird. As above, so below. Look, there's a UFO in that one. So it's crazy because it has, like, so this looks like a Native American woman or an indigenous woman. But then we have space and just, I don't know, it's very strange energy. Look at this one. So, gorgeous deck, gorgeous deck, but I need to figure out how to incorporate this into my practice. So that's going to stay out. Les Vampires is going to stay out. I love bringing this out around Halloween. It's very shadow work based. I could probably use it all the time. It's a very intense energy, and so I don't bring it out all the time, but it's going to stay on my shelf. All right, let's go through all these. These are all decks in bags. What is this? This is the Everyday Witch. This one can stay out. This is, what are you? Tarot Vampires. I do not connect with this deck. I do, but I don't know. The artwork is so delicious. Literally, when I look at the artwork, I think delicious. It's scrumptious. It's beautiful. It's very sensual and sexy, it feels like, but it's just not. It's very gothic. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And I do bring it out around Halloween. I just forget, I think, that I have it. I know it's like some people's all-time favorite deck, so I feel like I'm offending some people by saying this, but I feel like my deck that kind of is like this is like the Green Witch Tarot. You know, that's my energy. It's softer. It's more this is very intense, in your face, cutting, and I feel like my energy just as a witch and as a person is more soft, more connected to the earth, and I don't know, I just do things in a softer way, and yes, I can be taken advantage of in that way, but that's just who I am, and I feel like this is something that I want to be. I want to embody this, and so I definitely feel like I could use this for work like that, because one of the themes showing up in my life a lot is being the Queen of Wands, being confident, and I feel like this could help me with that. This is going to stay out. It's not that I don't connect with it, I just don't feel like I've had my time with it yet. What's this? Okay, so this is the Goddess Oracle. This is going to stay out because I do want to use this deck more. Force of Enchantment's going to go away because this deck, as beautiful as it is, and I've read the whole entire guidebook, it does not read well for me as a tarot deck. So that's going to go away. what is this? This is the Edgar Allan Poe tarot. This one is also going to go away because I love the artwork on this. I just don't read with it very often. I never think to take it out. This is the Game of Thrones tarot. I'm going to keep this out because I actually have a video I filmed a while ago. I never posted it, but I used this deck and I really felt like I connected to it. It's not something I want to pull out all the time, but I feel like with the new, oh my gosh, what's it called? The new Dragon series that's kind of a spinoff. I will want to use this around that. And then this is my Memento Mori tarot. It's basically the RWS with skeletons. Oh my gosh, why is it up? I'm going to keep this out. I think it's a really cool deck. Keep that out. Okay. Oh my gosh, we still have a lot to go through, but we are getting there. Okay. This is the Terra Volatile. I want to use this more. I think it's a very interesting deck. But I feel like I don't like this cardstock. I do want to connect with this more. Just the cardstock really like puts me off. I don't know what it is. So that's going to stay out. This is the After Tarot. I really like using this for love readings for clients. I don't get a ton of love readings, but I do like to use it for that. It's basically the RWS a few seconds after the image, so it kind of shows like a different scene. Love this deck. This is going to stay out. I just don't bring it out super often. This is the Crimson Eye Tarot. I love this. I lusted after this deck for so long because it was out of print with the creator, and then I finally got it and I've used it quite a bit. I'm just not a big fan of reds like this. Bright cherry reds are not my vibe. I like darker kind of jewel tones. But I have been really into playing cards lately, and this deck kind of depicts the suits with the playing card associations. Let's see if I can see anything in here. I don't see, oh yeah. So you can see the little diamonds in like the chair. Like there's little diamonds up here for the pentacles. Some of them don't have the depictions, but it's a really beautiful deck as far as, and they're weird. The figures are weird, like with their eyeballs and everything. I'm just not a big fan of red, but again, I feel like this might be helpful in that burning away energy, just like the Tarot Vampire. So this is going to stay out. I do really like this deck. But this is the Lilifer Tarot. Guys, I've just never, I don't think I've ever read with this. It's very hard for me to understand the card. It's very abstract. I think I'm going to keep this for now, but this is one I might sell because I've never used it and it's an indie deck, so it's worth something. Symbolic Soul. This is a weird deck. And I like it. It's just the cardstock's not my favorite. Kind of feels like steampunk, a little bit futuristic and strange. It's really beautiful. It has like this gold detail, but and I feel like this might be one that I connect with later on because there's a lot to go off of in the imagery that are very specific to this deck. You know, when you do a reading with a certain deck for a certain reading and there's just an image in the card that's like so perfect and it's not on any other card in any other deck. That's what I feel like this would be good for. But for now, this is going to go in the maybe, I think. Because I'm okay with having it out if there's no more room. Light Seers. Oh my gosh, you guys. I have a weird relationship with this deck, but it's going to stay out. It's going to stay out. Because I feel like this is actually a good deck to, like, teach with. So if I'm ever doing teachings about tarot, my words today. If I'm ever doing teachings about tarot, I think this is a good deck to bring out as an example of a kind of modern interpretation of the card. Okay. Starcodes Astro is a really good astrological deck. I'm going to keep this out. Herbal Astrology is one I want to connect with, and I just haven't. Oh, it's so beautiful. I'm going to keep it out. I've done some readings with it that were good. Celtic Spirit, I'm going to keep out because I connected with this last year after having it for a while and not really using it. And I like this one, so keep that one out. This is the Psychic Tarot. I want to use this more, but it's just like a weird hybrid deck. And I don't agree with some of the interpretations because it's basically a tarot deck missing the court cards, I believe. Yeah. And so I just don't agree with some of the associations, and I feel like my brain can't just use it as a oracle, which I think is just how it needs to be used. But I think it's a really cool deck. I'm going to keep this one out because it's not one that I have like a super strong opinion of either way. Soul cards 1 and 2 are going to stay out. These are beautiful decks, but I use them for very specific things, so that's why they're not my favorites. So these are going to stay out. Pulp Girls is going to stay out just because I have the Angel Number Oracle and it pairs really well with this. Zodiac Tarot, I have a love-hate relationship with this deck. The artwork is some of my favorite artwork, and I feel like, again, if this was on a different cardstock, I would use this daily. I just love this is like some of my favorite artwork on a tarot deck ever. And it's coming out in a tin size, mini size. So if the cardstock's better on that, I'll probably get rid of this one and get that one because this is just, I've trimmed it and it's still very atrocious to shuffle this thing. But I'm going to keep it out because I do like to look at it. So Ancient Feminine Wisdom of Goddesses and Heroines. I do like this deck. I'm going to keep this one out. Tarot for Kids. I haven't brought this out in a while, but it is a like long time old favorite. And again, this is a really good one for teaching purposes. But it's just very big cards. But this is one of the cards that I really started to understand tarot with. And so I love it. I'm going to keep it out. I just feel like again, it gets overshadowed by other things, and then the size of it's a little off-putting. Again, if it was smaller, I'd probably use it more. That's going to stay. Guidance of the Goddess Oracle. I love this deck, and I use it. I love to pair it with my Runic Tarot, which is one of my favorite tarot decks of all time, so this is going to stay out. Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm getting out of breath here. There's so much crap to go through. Moonology, this can stay out. I'm not super connected with this the way that I am the original Moonology. Those are like my favorite oracle cards ever. But it's going to stay out because I do like to use it around the moon phases. Crystal Medicine Oracle, I really like this one, but I bring it out for very specific readings, and it feels so earthy, and I believe it says it's a shamanism cards. So that's gorgeous. And each one of these cards has a ritual. So when I'm feeling like I want that very practical card that tells me to do something, this is it. This feels very desert to me as well. So I'm going to actually keep this. Where did I put? Oh, it's under there. Okay, I'm going to keep this. I might keep this out where I use it. Because I've been so attracted to desert feeling decks. Kali Oracle, I think Kali Oracle is going to go away. I'm just not feeling drawn to it at this point. I did have some good readings with it, but this is just not a deity or a card deck that I feel like working with lately. Oracle of the Mermaids, I think, is going to stay out just because, again, we're moving into the summer, and that's when I feel the most drawn to like water decks. Again, this is like, I have this one, I have the Sea Witch, and then I have one more that's a water deck. So that's the only reason it's going to stay out, but I don't really feel attracted to this, and we'll see if I use it. I don't know. Ancestor Spirit cards, these can go away for now. I think they're so beautiful. The artwork is gorgeous, 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 but I just don't feel drawn to these half the time. Divine Circus is going to stay out because I have had so many profound readings with this deck, but it only comes out once in a while when I'm drawn to it, so that's going to stay. Through the Eyes of the Soul, this is my other Cheryl Yambrack Rose deck, so that's going to stay out. Blessed Be, I do not use these freaking cards, ever. Again, beautiful artwork, but these are going to go away for now. They're basically just like, the way that I would use these, now that I'm thinking about it, is again for like a placeholder to pull out specifically for magical workings. And now that I'm thinking about that, I might keep this out just because, so let's say I have somebody who is getting a new job, like a friend. I might use this card, right? A Blessing on a New Venture, and use it as a spell holder. Okay. All right. I was going to put these away, but I think I might keep them out now to use specifically for magical workings. And, okay. To send blessings out into the world. Okay. So that's going in a separate pile because I want to look more into this deck. Oracle of the Dragon Fae. Again, this is dragon energy. Let me see if this is more of the dragon energy that I was needing. I feel like this might be that dragon energy that I need. That's more fae energy with this. Yeah, because it's dragon fae, obviously. Okay, I'm going to put this with these because I need to look at that deck a little bit more. Heal Yourself reading cards. I actually think this is being re-released in a smaller Oracle size deck. But I wonder if it's going to have more cards in it because I actually really like this deck. It's only 36 cards. But this is such a beautiful shadow work deck. It's the Heal Yourself reading cards. So it has themes like procrastination, how teachable are you, pay attention to signs, pride, soulmate, hole in the soul, self-sabotage. Such a gorgeous deck. I feel like I'm in a different place with shadow work right now, and I don't feel like I just need to improve overall as a person. I feel like I have very specific things I'm working on. But this is a great deck when you're just like, I want to be better. I want to be a better person, right? Intuitive Guidance to Transform Your Soul. I love, love, love this deck. I just wish it had more cards. Because I feel like if you use this more than just a few times, like a year, then you can maybe keep revisiting and opening old wounds. So this is I don't know. So if the new deck comes with more cards, I might repurchase it and then get rid of this one. I saw the preview and a lot of the deck, like the cards just look the same, like the same artwork and everything. So I don't know. But this one's going to stay out because I do like that deck. This is the Mantra Oracle. I'm still deciding how I feel about this deck. It's pretty new to my collection and I'm going to keep it on my shelf for now. Everyday Witch Oracle. This can go away because I just don't use it very often. The artwork is so gorgeous. But I'm just not feeling very drawn to the Everyday Witch. And I do like to pair them. So this is one I probably wouldn't ever get rid of, but it needs to be put away for now. The Wild Unknown Archetypes deck. This almost gives me those desert vibes again. So this is one I might keep out for now. I do have an archetype deck I prefer, but this one gives me those like kind of 70s weird desert vibes, which is, again, what I've just been so drawn to lately. So that one can stay out. I think I prefer, like, I saw that they came out with a small one and I saw it in store, like the little box for it. It was so small. And I feel like with something like that, I would want it to be kind of the center of a spread. And I like the bigger size card. But the only reason that I would maybe want to get the smaller one is because of the book, the guidebook. I assume it would just have a smaller guidebook, and that's more useful for me because I actually got rid of the bigger box that this came in, and I've been painting it and trying to make it into a different kind of box, like repurposing it. And so the guidebook's separate, and so I have to go hunt it down. I have all my guidebooks kind of on the shelf, and so that's the only annoying thing, is because with this, I really, really need a guidebook. So I might look into the smaller one just for that purpose. Okay, if the angle is a little different, it's because I had to delete some memory off my phone. Okay, Atlantis cards are going to stay out because I actually really like to use these for creative writing prompts and for like ideas for a story because it's very out there. And again, I guess this one's kind of feels like that water energy, so I'm going to keep those in the yes pile. Angels and Ancestors Oracle cards, I use these specifically for ancestor readings or past life readings in my Etsy shop, and so I actually have someone that booked to this, and I'm glad I didn't have to dig through my decks to find it. So I'm going to put this on my desk, actually, so that's a yes. Healing Spirits Oracle. This is one I need to look at a little more because I don't know. I don't know about the messages on this one, and it's newer to me, so I'm going to keep this in the yes pile. Messages from the Mermaids. Okay, so this is actually my favorite deck I have that is related to water, and so this is going to be a yes. I'm running out of room. Okay. Gateway of Light Activation Oracle. This one's going to go away for now. I actually have had some good readings with it and like it, but it's going to go away for now. This is the Sacred Traveler Oracle cards. You know, this was like one of my favorite decks when I first got it. It just feels a little bit simple to me and not what I'm looking for, but it might be good for clients. I don't know. This is a maybe. That's a maybe for now. Sacred Self-Care Oracle. I need to put this in my favorites because it got lost. It was like in the bottom of a stack, like behind other decks, and so I love this deck, so this is gonna go on my desk. Black Moon Lilith. This is newer to me. Don't know how I feel about it yet. This is going to stay on my shelf though. Oracle of the Witch. I really, really like this deck. It is an ancestor deck for me, but again, it's that really bright red, and so it's very much that energy when I'm using it, and I'm only drawn to that sometimes, but this is going to stay out. Native Spirit. This feels like that desert energy, and I'm going to keep it out and use it. I love Denise Linn decks. So this is the one that I was going to put in the maybe pile. This one is always a yes. I feel like this is very archetypal, so I'm going to keep that out and actually use it. And keep it maybe in my decks I'm using. Okay. Moon Witch. Love, love, love this deck. I don't know why it's up on the shelf. I think I just was swapping things around. So that's a yes. Sign of the Times. This is a really, really good deck, and I think I need to maybe bring it out more for clients. But it's a modern deck, and so I actually bought it to work on my aversion towards the modern world, and I feel like it was helping me for sure. And this feels very summery, so I'm gonna keep that out actually. Goddess Dream and Goddess Love. Really love these decks. They're going to stay out on my shelf. Sacred Destiny Oracle. I actually cut mine down and I regret it. It's a cute little like pocket deck, right? Ooh. It's really cute. I'm going to keep this one out. Shadow of Darkness Oracle cards. Really like these. Got these for Christmas. Gonna keep those out. Just haven't... I worked with them quite a bit for a few months, and I'm just taking a break. The Slow Tarot. This one's gonna go away. As beautiful as this deck is, I don't feel a connection to work with it. But the artwork, again, it's like having a 78 card museum of artwork. So that's gonna go away. The Wizards Tarot. This one's gonna go away. I love the artwork on it, but it does not work as a tarot deck for me. This is the Ethereal Visions and the Dreamscape, both by the same creator. They work beautifully together. I do like to use these together when I'm feeling the energy to use these decks. Ethereal Visions I love, but it's never become a favorite of mine. And then this one is the one I didn't like for a while, but when I used it together with this, it's beautiful. Again, this one has very like archetypal energies. It's not a deck that, to me, you can just read without a guidebook. You need to get into the guidebook, and then I like to pull the tarot based off of what the theming is around this card. So this might stay out again because I've just been so into that energy lately. Shamanic Healing, this is going to stay out. I do like this deck, but I haven't figured out a way to incorporate it into my practice yet. But I do like that it's shamanic, but I feel like I like the Crystal Medicine. This needs to stay out. Why? Okay, I'll move that in a minute. Secret Forest. I like this one. Again, this is Denise Linn. Not my favorite Denise Linn deck, but this one's going to stay out. I do find myself bringing it out more around this time of year. Mausolea Oracle of Souls. This was one that was in the Purgatory box for a long time, and it ended up coming out, and I had a very profound reading with it, where Lilith came forward, and I kept this card out on my desk for a while. Again, very archetypal energy, so this is going to go into my I want to use now decks, because this is, again, just what I've been searching for lately. This is the Tarot by Caro. Love, love, love this deck. I don't even know why I put it. This might go in my desk. I don't know. Radiant Wise Spirit. This can go away. It's just, I love the coloring on this deck, but it's a bitch to shuffle this. So that's going to go away. Golden Tarot. I love this deck, but I don't like the cardstock. Might repurchase it in the new linen, but for now it's going to go away. Gold Foil Tarot. This is like a plastic tarot deck. And so, I mean, I like the coloring, but I feel like I would use this around water. So this might stay out because hopefully our pool that's in our little town is open this year, and I can bring this to the pool. That's kind of the only reason I would bring it. Okay, so that's in the yes. Cats Rule the Earth Tarot. This can actually go away. I love this, but I would probably only use it to read for my sister that loves cats. But it does feel very, it's a RWS deck. It's very basic. It feels very witchy though. So if you're doing work with familiars, or a cat is your familiar, you might want to use this deck to maybe conversate with your cat or a cat spirit. I don't have any cats, so this is mostly just to have for cat lovers if I do readings for them. So that can go away. Ancestral Path. This is going to stay out because I love this deck. It's just really big, and I do use this for ancestral readings for others and for myself. Divine Nature. This is one of those decks that's just weird, and like the theming, and it doesn't have a direction that it goes in. But I bought this to have kind of a mass market version of the Divine Muses. I wanted like a mass market version of Divine Muses. And this doesn't feel like that. So this is going to go away for now. Hopefully I have room. I feel like I might run out of room. Okay, Literary Witches. I have modified this deck and written meanings on these cream colored cards. This is going to go away for now. I'm just not feeling it. I'm not feeling the vibes right now. I have more cards that I forgot to grab, so after I get done with these, I'm going to have to grab those. So this is going to go away for now. I just don't use it as much as I want to use it. I don't ever use that deck. Crimson Hysteria, this is going to stay out, even though I don't feel drawn to this deck a lot. When I do, it feels very witchy and ritualistic in the readings I do. So this is going to go in the yes pile. Daily Crystal Inspiration, this is going to go in the yes pile. I only have one crystal deck, and that's it. Angel Guide Oracle, this is going to go away. Again, not into angel decks. Animal Apothecary feels like that weird desert 70s vibe, so I'm going to keep this one out. This might go in my stuff that goes over there. Seasons of the Witch Yule, this is going to stay out. It's the only Seasons of the Witch deck that I don't keep on my favorites shelf, but it hasn't warranted a reason to go into the storage. So this is the Inner Child Oracle. This just came out mass market through Hay House, and this is one I might pair with this one here to do some Inner Child work. So those are going to stay. Woodland Wardens is like the only animal deck that I really connect to, and I think it's because it's paired with a plant. So this is going to stay out. Voice of the Souls Oracle, I really like this deck. It just is not on my favorites rack for right now. It was for a while, but again, I kind of rotate things. So this is going to be on the yes. Oh my gosh, guys. Okay. Oracle of the Fairies. This is a Inner Child deck for me, so I'm going to pair it with those Inner Child decks. Earth Wisdom is very Celtic feeling, but there's only like 36 cards, and I actually used these in 2022 to do my year ahead spread. So I used one of these decks to work with. I used one of the cards from this deck every month of 2022 and worked with that energy. I feel like for now it needs to go away because I'm just not feeling drawn to it. And I feel like it almost gave me what I needed, right? Daily Affirmations. This is newer to me. I'm going to keep this one out. Divine Muses, going to stay out. Love this deck, but it's in French. Morgan's Tarot. This is going to stay out. I have a weird relationship with that deck. Unicorn cards. These are going to go away. I do not use these very often at all. This is the Tea-Stained Tarot. This is going to go away. I don't really use this. It's very monochromatic. It's just an RW West that's basically like beige. This is the Modern Witch Tarot, the German version that I have cut down. Oh, this little incense in there with it. I'm going to actually end up trimming this all the way down. And then it might be a little pocket deck for me. I do have the English version of this deck, and that's going to go in storage, but it's up there and I need to grab it. So that's that. This is going to stay in the yes pile. This is the Mists of Avalon Oracle. This is in the yes pile. This is a very deeply spiritual deck for me, and I only use it sparingly, but it's going to stay in the yes pile. I'm running out of room. This is the Nightmare Before Christmas Tarot. I love, 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 love this deck, but I only use it around Halloween, but that's going to stay out for me. Carolyn Miss Archetype cards. You know, this is a really, 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 really good archetype deck, so I'm going to keep it out in the yes pile. Okay, I'm leaning over here to get more decks. Thelema Tarot, I like this one, but I don't know if I'm going to run out of room. This is just going to go in the yes for now. White Newman, I really like once in a while, so that's going to stay in the yes pile. This is the Essential Tarot. I want to use this deck more, but the cardstock is atrocious to shuffle. This is what the box looks like. Let me see if I can shuffle it, because oh my gosh. This is a very Pippish style deck. It's a little pastel-y for me too. This one can go away for now. Leaning over. Citadel Oracle is going to stay out. Love this deck. My favorite archetype deck. It feels luxurious. I have a question, you guys. So this deck, I got like months and months ago, like over a year ago. And I just saw, you know, I've been seeing on Amazon that it was like had a pre-order for March of this last March of 2024. And so did they re-release this deck? I'm a little bit confused. If you guys know, please let me know, because is this deck different than what was just released? Because I got this a long time ago. That's in the yes pile. Revival Art. Gorgeous, beautiful deck. Going away because I just don't connect with it. Okay. This is the Wisdom of Avalon. This is the other Colette Baron-Reid deck that I love to work with. This one is going to stay out. It's just kind of been put on retirement for right now. This is the Wild Woman Oracle. I really like this one. I don't use it a ton, but I do like it. Keep that one in the yes pile. This is the Anna K Tarot. This one's going to go away for now. I know it's out of print, so it's just going to go away because I don't use it a ton. This is the Good Karma Tarot. Never, ever use this. This is going to go away. It's just not my vibe. Okay, that was everything. Let me get what's up there on the shelf and then we'll be done. Okay, so these next decks, most of them are going to go in the no pile, just because they were decks I was like going to sell, but I've decided to wait on that. This one was not one I was going to sell, but it was just with those decks, so I don't know. This is the Between the Worlds deck. I have modified mine and put keywords on it. This is going to stay in the yes pile, even though I'm still not sure about that deck 100%. This is the Goddess Oracle box. So this is just the box. So I have storage for that. This is the Wild Wisdom of the Fairy Oracle. Yeah, no, this is going to go away. I already have 2 of Lucy Cavendish's decks that I'm keeping out. Oracle of the Dragon Fae. Blessed Be. I actually have 3. And then the Fairy Forest deck. So this one is going to go in the no pile. Karma cards going to go in the no pile. Chakra Wisdom Oracle cards in the no pile. The cardstock on this is atrocious. I love all of the keywords. Don't really understand the chakra association. Okay, Chakra Wisdom Oracle cards. I love the keywords on these. The cardstock is just horrible to handle. Tactile experience is horrible. And I don't understand the chakra associations with these cards. I just feel like they're a little strange. So anyways, that's going to go in the no pile. Fairy Wisdom Oracle, I'm not ready to let this go, but I just don't use it. It's something that I might just have to look at, but it's going to go in the no pile for right now. Legendary Ladies, I do not connect with this deck. This is going to go in the no pile. Magical Times Empowerment cards, no pile. Bestiary is going to go in the no pile. This is the Modern Witch American version, English version. This is going to go in the no pile. The Quantum Oracle is going to go in the no pile. Shaman's Dream. I don't know about this one. This one is going to go in the yes pile. I do like this sometimes. Anyways, okay, yes pile. Enchanted Oracle. Let me look at this for a second because this deck is so weird. It's basically like so this is what's taking up most of the box. And then here's the little cards. What is that? Spirit of Yule? Okay. don't know. No, this is going to go in the no pile. I was thinking I could maybe use it as like archetypal energy, but I just don't. I'm not feeling a vibe with this deck, so Enchanted Oracle. Okay. That's everything. So I'm going to go through and put all my nose into this. I'm going to cleanse it with some Palo Santo before, just to really give that beautiful energy to the inside of this chest. Put all of my nose in there. Hopefully they all fit. And then go through the maybes and see. And then I'll show you guys footage of my shelf as well, what it looks like now. For context, it was full to the brim before, and I probably couldn't have fit one more deck on there if I wanted to. The only exception of things that are up there are my mini decks. Anything that's really small are still up on my shelf because they don't take up that much room. And I don't know, I didn't want to fill this chest with really small decks. So, okay. Okay guys, so all of my nose fit in here, and I still have quite a bit of room, actually. So this thing can hold quite a bit. I put all of my nose, some of my maybes, and honestly, now that I know that I have more room in here, I might stick some more of my yeses in here that are a little bit more on the fence, just because I still feel like my yes pile, this is my yes pile, holy crap. I'm gonna see how these look up on the shelf. These are the ones that I brought out to kind of use. But I still feel a little bit overwhelmed with everything here. So I might put some more in here, which I will show you guys if I do that, and then what is up on the shelf. So stay tuned. Alright guys, so this is where we're at with the shelf. It does look a lot better. So it's just this shelf that has decks on it. The rest is books and things. These are all of the mini decks I was talking about that I didn't go through. So it's a lot better. Beforehand, every single row was double stacked. It's not like that anymore. These rows with like all of the Hay House sized decks are have double rows. There's just a lot more room. It does still feel pretty full and cluttered, so it feels a lot better than it did. I do feel like I can see my decks a little bit better now. And then this is where we're at with this. I ended up putting some other decks in here that I just didn't feel like needed to be up on the shelf. Here's the aftermath. This is what I still have out. Here, let me move these down. I still have my little bit of coffee left there. I ended up taking a break to eat and things like that. So these are the ones that I'm not sure about yet, as far as some of these are for sure yeses, but I don't know if I want to work with them. Some of these are maybes that I think I need to look at a little bit more before I decide. The cool thing is I still have quite a bit of room in here. I have basically a whole nother stack of decks I can put in right there. I can fit a few more right there. I actually shoved the decks that were in bags here in the middle, and I can fit some like tuck box decks in between if I need to. So that's what we're looking like. Let me show you guys kind of the setup that I want here. All right, so this is the setup of the altar cloths that I want here. Obviously, this is not a full altar because I want to kind of keep that private. I have my reading light actually right here to have a light right here, which I think is pretty smart. I don't use my reading light very often since I have a Kindle now, but this is where my altar is going to be, in this little corner, and it's just a nice place to sit. I just have a candle here right now, so I haven't decorated it yet. But I am super excited about this. So yeah, guys, I'm just going to turn. So that was my little declutter, putting stuff into storage. I feel like doing that kind of showed me what is important in my decks, and even the decks that I said yes to, I feel like still aren't the ones I want to use all the time. And so this little exercise was very eye-opening to me. I feel like I'm going to end up rehoming a lot of these decks. But again, I think putting them in this purgatory type space for a while will allow me to really make a solid decision and feel good about that decision. Yes, I'm gonna look through these decks. I just feel like there's an excess here that doesn't need to happen. And I feel myself cleansing a lot more areas of my life, like my wardrobe. I want to make a video about dressing, how I dress and how that relates to my spiritual practice. I am finding myself drawn to these very neutral tones. Black, I love to wear black, but I also love to wear this like creamy beige, and I feel like simplifying my wardrobe is a big part of my practice right now, and dressing how I feel on the inside, if that makes sense. So I don't know, I think that my collection is going to be pared down a lot more. It's going to be decluttered more. But for now, I feel good about moving things around the way that I have. Yeah, you know, there are so many decks that I love that I have like enough of those that I don't need all these extra ones. Some of them serve a very specific purpose for very specific times, but the other ones are just kind of collecting dust, and I love having a variety of decks, but I don't think I need to have a surplus of decks. And there's also some decks that I want to bring into my practice that I feel like would work better for me that are not these decks, you know? Like I want all of the decks in my collection to be getting use, and that's just not the case. So that's that. If there's a deck that was in my no pile that you're really interested in, please let me know and I will consider selling it to you. You know, maybe I just need to hear that somebody else is really wanting to work with a deck that I have no interest in, so that I'll feel more inclined to want to give it to somebody where it can get use, right? Yeah, so that's where I'm at. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry it was so long, but hopefully you enjoyed. Please let me know if you're in a similar space of wanting to kind of purge and start new. Yes, I'm excited to have this altar. It feels so good. So I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.